Proserv is a controls technology company, and in partnership with Synaptec, we have developed and commercialized a revolutionary way of monitoring high voltage cables and terminations within the offshore wind sector, namely inter-array cables and export cables. And so it'll be good to get your aspect on things as well.
Yeah, this is an ideal partnership because we've got a situation here in offshore wind where you have enormous operating costs caused by sudden cable failure, and it needs a holistic monitoring approach to deal with the problem and try and get ahead of the problem and anticipate and avoid outages. So we've got a technology that helps, but it needs to be integrated with other systems so that the customer gets one solid or holistic view of the problem. So it's a perfect way to join forces.
So here at Proserv, we've acknowledged that cable failures are the biggest challenge in offshore wind. And the statistics suggest that 80% of insurance claims are actually attributed to cable failures, and that 2/3 of cable failures are not necessarily attributed to the cable section, but actually attributed to the cable termination and the joints.
Very important principle, because what we've noticed coming at this from our heritage in electrical engineering is that cables themselves structurally are fine. It's the combination of electrical and mechanical stresses that you see in the joints and terminations that are most likely to cause a failure. If you go and look at the industry data like the GCARP papers, they'll tell you that you've got a split of something like 31% of failures are in the cable itself, but the remainder, the other 69%, are in these joints and terminations. And that's what needs to be monitored, because by definition, you're seeing twice as many of the locations where a failure occurs. And if you can see what the content of these cables is, what the electrical stresses are, and then relate them in real time to what the mechanical stresses are, you're going to pick up on these little details that are the earliest possible warning signs or precursors to a fault. And the earlier you can catch them, the more time you've got to do something about it before it fails. To prevent outage is so valuable, and to show it at that kind of scale, we're going to be looking at, I think there's like 112 cables even on the first phase of about to say, across those cables, if 111 are the same and one of them looks different, let's go and visit that one because it's behaving differently, not because it's Friday, right? It's about prevention of outage, but it's also about optimizing things like scheduled maintenance cost, and it's about elongation of the asset's life and what's it going to be worth at the end of life? Do you repower? Do we throw this away? What do you do with these assets? This asset management data and the operations and maintenance value here is enormous.